Hello and welcome back. Uh, Folks, let me ask you, are you searching for the truth? And if you are, what is the truth? And, you know, this is mostly for Christians, but anybody can tune in, I don't mind. Uh, there's a lot of churches, and if you read the Bible, you will find out that the churches don't agree with the Bible. I mean, if you look at the Bible, if you look at the teachings of Christ, Jesus, or Yeshua, or Yahushua, however you want to say it, our Messiah, if you look at his teachings, it's very different from what you find in any church that I've found so far. And so I'm still looking, and maybe you want to chime in on this or leave a comment, but very quickly I think you can eliminate about 95% of churches today, most of them, starting with the Catholic Church. But you remember in the garden when Jesus was being, they were coming for him, and the army was coming for him, and Peter took out his sword and cut off one of the soldiers' ears, and Jesus said to put his sword back, because he who lives by the sword will die by the sword. And so we see that the Catholic Church is, from the very beginning, from its very inception, was marriage between the so-called church at that time, which was probably an apostate church anyhow, and the Roman Empire. And so in God's name, they went and killed and murdered and raped and pillaged, all these atrocities in God's name, in the name of Christ. All of that was, none of that was, God's hand was on any of that, because the scriptures also say that the ruler of this world is Satan. And so we see that. So if you're disturbed, if you're distraught, if you're confused about what's going on in the world today, and it doesn't make sense, it just all seems discombobulated and pure evil, then that's why. It's Satan's world. It's going to be destroyed real soon. There's going to be new heavens and a new earth. But getting back to these churches, the Catholic Church formed, and then there were some disagreements in the church early on. And they had the Council of Nicaea about 300 years after Christ was on earth. And they supposedly determined a lot of things. One of the interesting things about the Council of Nicaea is that they put out an invitation to 1,800 so-called bishops, and about 300 showed up. So why didn't the others show up? Maybe they were the true Christians. Well, after the Council of Nicaea, anyone who disagreed with what they said, after a point, after a few years, was put to death. And again, is that a Christian? Is that the Christian? Is that the Church of Christ? No, it's not. And so today you have churches that support the military, so you can very, very quickly eliminate most churches, because they will send their sons and daughters off to war. And imagine if Jesus, he didn't tell his disciples, if we just get in good with the Romans and maybe do some political things, maybe we can get this thing under control, and maybe we can bring about peace and happiness on earth. No, he rejected that. All the nations of the world are referred to in the scriptures as beasts. And isn't it just like a beast that comes after people and attacks us and kills us? It has nothing to do with our welfare. It has to do with their power and their control, which goes to their king, their ruler, Satan. So that's one way that we can very quickly eliminate, again, about 95% of the so-called churches in this world. So where is the truth? Well, I'm searching, and there's a lot of people, and by the power of Jesus, people have read the Bible and found God's power unlimited in just amazing ways in the name of Christ. You know, you can cast out demons, you can do all kinds of things. So I'd like to close with that, and I'll try to get back and do another one of these. But we're looking for the church. I'm looking for a church. I'm looking for the true church. And church actually means, doesn't mean a building at all. It means a group of people for a specific purpose. Or as some would say, a group of people who are called out for a specific purpose. But we'll go into this in detail and go through a lot of the churches, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the LDS, and there's 40,000 denominations listed in the United States government as churches. So there's a lot to talk about. So we'll get back. Thank you.